It's an astonishing start for him tonight, Yanis Blaswich. Arsenal 7 attempts on target already in less than 33 minutes. In goes the Leverkusen corner. Tapsoba gets his head to it. That's straightforward for David Raya, who bowls it out into the feet of Declan Rice. The slip though gives it back now to Palacios. Fizzed into Alex Garcia. Challenge right over there by Eze.
Watch this. Watch this. I'll tell you right now. I'm of the opinion that's outside the box.
Yeah, I think he bowled a strike though, Ali. It was that kind of action, wasn't it?
I just saw him at the corner of my eye there, Fletch. I thought that's going to be close. And our guys with the replays once again spot on.
They don't miss a trick.
Brilliant.
Tell you one thing that's been impressive, you know, the fact that Arsenal have had 7 attempts on target already. The goalkeeper's been pulling off save after save. It's not really affected Leverkusen as a group.
Not in the slightest.
They're still putting the ball down and flicking it about, trying to pass it and do their thing. Soslan's come the closest so far tonight.
Yeah, that was his best one, wasn't it, with his legs? For me, so far.
Thierry Hincapié, now Gabriel. Declan Rice started off impressively again in the Arsenal midfield. Still only 51% possession for Arsenal, but they've been better with the ball, haven't they, in terms of generating things. Zubimendi. That's behind Leandro Trossard.
Well, when he got behind, didn't he, and then he came back out and his legs just went.
Don't forget there's more Champions League tomorrow night. Barcelona against Newcastle, 1-1 from the first leg. Liverpool against Galatasaray. Liverpool have got to get working. They're a goal down. And if miracles do happen, Tottenham need one. 5-2 down after that farcical night in the Metropolitano. You can see them tomorrow. TNT Sports 1, TNT Sports 2, TNT Sports 3 and Discovery Plus as well. Here's Eze for Arsenal. Hits it off!
Took something special to beat Blaswich, and you've just seen it. Arsenal won by a Leverkusen 0. A rocket from Eze.
I mean, that's just absolutely ridiculous, the power in that. I mentioned you 2 minutes earlier. He has a fantastic strike of the ball from the edge of the box, with a difficult one to take. He can strike a football. I'm stating the obvious now. This, he takes it in the half turn here. Watch there. And bang, the power. Read an angle of it. The goalkeeper dives and it's by him. That is just an incredible strike of the football. I haven't seen a ball hit as hard as that in a long time. Absolutely wonderful strike. What a goal. That's the angle. The goalkeeper is no chance.
Someone in the future will say to that young man there, what was your first ever goal in the Champions League? And he will describe that strike.
What a hit. I mean, the power on that was... I mean, I'll say it again. I mentioned 2 minutes before it. He's a wonderful striker of the football. He hit one that came out for the corner, that got blocked. Beautiful strike. But the power and the technique on that is as good as anything you'll see anywhere on the planet, I'm telling you.
You cannot hit the ball any better. You can't be any more accurate. And the form the goalkeeper's in, it was going to take something like that to beat him. So Arsenal won, Bayer Leverkusen 0, a special goal. And now they're in again. It's Trossard, couldn't get the shot away. And Leverkusen are just feeling the real pressure now from Arsenal, but here they come looking to try and respond with Mazza. Ben White was back there, they're hunting in packs. Gabriel made the tackle, now it's Rice, and there's plenty forward here in red and white. Trossard then ran into Palacios, and Bayer Leverkusen have got the ball back again.
Well, it's just got completely open in the last 4 or 5 minutes. Completely open.
You know, that has to be one of the great European goals that Arsenal have scored.
Oh, yeah, I loved it. I loved it.
You know, if Thierry Henry would have scored that goal...
Oh, yeah, no, I take your point.
Very, very special.
There's not too many could, but he certainly could.
I absolutely love the nonchalance when he scored as well, that long stare into the crowd, just making sure everybody had seen it and acknowledged it.
The only one that never, to be fair, was Blaswich.
I'm not sure he's seen it yet. Absolutely sensational from Eberechi.
I mean, it was a wow moment, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
You and I just looked at each other.
That's one of the great goals in the competition this season. There's no doubt about that. It's certainly one of the sweetest hits. There's just that little murmur around us. We sit very near to the supporters here. They're right behind us, and you can see it. You can hear all the little conversation and chatter about the fact of what they've just seen. It shows it's special.
I think it's safe to say they enjoyed it as much as we did.
Yeah, certain types of goal generate that chatter, that buzz. That was one of them. I would think there'll be a bit of relief as well, because the goalkeeper was looking unbeatable to that point, and of course they've got their noses in front now for the first time in the tie, having been behind for a lot in Germany last week. It's a test of character from this point for Bayer Leverkusen. They just had a double situation, and the linesman went down. He went.
I thought he went down easy.
I think he might have gone over a substitute, you know. Have a look.
See it.
I think he's gone over a sub course. The bottom of the screen. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. How far he's gone onto the pitch. I think he's over-egged that. Hey, the liner's going to get booked for simulation if he carries on like that. He's made a load of that.
I disagree totally. I think he gets down with reasonable justification. I do.
You're describing that as graceful?
Yeah. Are you?
Disgraceful, I'd say. Good Lord.
I'm not going to happy with the substitutes anyway. I can tell you, they'll get an earful.
So Trossard over the free kick. 4 minutes to go in the first half. Arsenal leading 1-0 on the night, 2-1 on aggregate. It's rolled here to Bukayo Saka. William Saliba. Eze, surely not again. Declan Rice. There's Tapsoba underneath it for Leverkusen. Helped on them by Saliba. Breaks here for Hincapié. That's one back in there by Palacios, who's busy in central midfield, isn't he, for the Germans? He's done well there to find Jarell Quansah. What about that lovely flick? Dr. Rice, though, couldn't find his way through, and then as they just caught him
He had a look, he wasn't sure.
there. Enjoy this again. This is the goal at full speed.
Oh. This is the angle. That's the angle for me. That fella there. Oh, fantastic!
As you say, Coisty, it was past him before he could react.
It actually was.
Plays it forward, Saliba across for Arsenal. So Palacios, Grimaldo, Alex Garcia. On it goes by Mazza to Grimaldo.
Defending them there by Martin Zubimendi, two players who know each other from the Spain squad.
Of course they do. Maganga comes back off. Good match to run well. Zubimendi comes back off and earns a throw in.
He knows that his team are behind after an absolute worldie from Eze on a night where his goalkeeper's been inspired. Given away there by Terrier. There's Quansah. Sequence for Arsenal where only Liverpool have stopped from scoring here this season. Ibrahim Mazza up against Ben White down this side, approaching the final minute of the half. That's a good cross, but there's nobody in there to make anything of it.
It's a great ball, handled well defensively, but as you say, nobody to attack it. He just gets his foot underneath it and hangs it up at the back post.
Crosses on the move. Here's Grimaldo, took a touch, maybe didn't have to.
Well, it's because he's left-footed, to be honest. If that's the other side, he hits that one first time.
Andrich did really well there because he got Victor Gyökeres breathing down his neck.
Getting back to that one, Dan, I think Grimaldo's got to hit that first time with right foot. Clearly not as comfortable that side as he is on his left.
Alex Garcia, Ezequiel Palacios. Confirmation of the one additional minute at the end of this first half. First half where Arsenal have generated 12 chances, 7 of them on target. They've had 54% of the ball.
I think Mikel Arteta will be delighted they're opening 45 minutes.
This is Ernest Poku. We've seen more of Grimaldo down the left than Poku down the right in the first half. Edmund taps over. By Martin Terrier. Maybe one little opportunity towards the end of the half here for the Germans. Poku, then it goes by Alex Garcia, and the backpedaling David Raya just needed to make sure. Well, there's half-time, and off goes Mikel Arteta because his team have done half the job. They've got the aggregate lead. We've seen an absolutely stunning strike from Eze. His first Champions League goal, a volley into the top corner. Before that, Yanis Blaswich in the Leverkusen.
Chelsea fans think of it. Liverpool have done it, Barcelona have done it, Deportivo La Coruña did it back in the day, but if Chelsea do it from here, it will be the greatest comeback in European history. Barcola and before him, Kvaratskhelia made an improbable dream fanciful. Half-time at Stamford Bridge, a dejected Stamford Bridge. Chelsea 0, Paris Saint-Germain 2. It's 7-2 to the Parisians on aggregate.
Madness, Chelsea 7-2. What's next for them? Wow. Can they make it? Can they come back from that? I doubt it. But we've seen Sporting scoring 5 goals today to come back from 3-0 down and scoring 5 goals. So that's a crazy one. But we'll see what happens here. Arsenal taking the lead here. So you can't really fault them from a really good goal from Eze. Don't ever doubt the kid, man. Wow. Wow. But City, they started a comeback as well. So currently 4-1. Real Madrid scored a penalty. Yeah. 1-1 there, Man City versus Real Madrid. Vini scored a penalty. That's just gone to halftime as well now. A red card there. Haaland scored in a very long time as well. He's just got a goal back. Crazy night in the Champions League. Chelsea definitely not going through. I mean, oh my God, I can't believe how much we disrespected the Italian teams. I mean, understanding is because they went out for stage. But this is looking like this is more disgraceful, to be honest with you. The way the English teams are going out, the way City is gonna go out if they don't come back from this, and you've got Chelsea 7-2. Chelsea 7-2. That is not good look for the English league at all. It's not a very good look. It's half time now anyway, so let's see what Leverkusen. They're still in this game, by the way. Fine, they're still in this game. It's not over yet. They've not played too bad either. But the goal was just one of them where it's absolutely outstanding. You couldn't dispute it. There's nothing you could have done to stop that goal. No keeper would have saved that goal. None. So far we're looking at two teams going out from the Prem. City, then they can then focus on the Premier League, and also they have a game on Sunday against Arsenal. Cup final. They might be able to recover from that. But Arsenal still got to play all these 4 competitions, by the way. But if they lose that game on Sunday, that'll be brilliant. Man City 1, Real Madrid 1. Arsenal 1, Bayer Leverkusen 0. Chelsea 0, PSG 2. Sporting Lisbon 5, Bordeaux Glen, the dark horse of the competition. They finally out. You know, they did really well there to get themselves in this position. What a way to go out. 8 goals in that competition there. 8 goals, 3 at home. And Silva got sent off. Silva got a red card. Wow. Why? I've not even seen the foul yet.
A comeback display from them tonight. Meanwhile, over at Stamford Bridge, not this goal here, but 14 minutes in makes it 2-0 on the night so far. And side because Arsenal, after knocking amazing. We just saw Barcola do it for PSG, but what about this one from Eze?
Do you know, this is such a sweet, pure strike from a player who you want in that sort of forward area. And when it comes to him, the technique there, little swivel and bang. You know, you might have saved 6 shots earlier in the game, but try and save this. good luck with this, because what about this for a ball that's just been hit pure, straight off the middle of the bat, and bang, suddenly Arsenal 1-0 up. Great strike.
I mean, sometimes it's just set up for, you know, on a half volley or a volley, and you're thinking, and he just connects with it. Just absolutely connects with the force, the power. Ali spoke about the speed up there. The keeper was playing really well up until this, but he's got absolutely nowhere near it, no chance. And that was just pure quality from him.
Well, let's have a look at some of those chances that we were just talking about. You just said 6 changes there for the keeper, Martin.
Yeah, I think Arsenal were elected to press high, which didn't happen so much in the first leg, and they got a lot of joy from that. And I was surprised they kept on persisting with it. And these were chances. Trossard coming in off the line, did that a lot, and he was getting good opportunities. Look at that for Declan Rice, totally committing to that effort, and then winning the ball again. They weren't passing it well, and Arsenal were putting them under pressure. Look, 6s and 7s, and then they come inside again. Another save from the keeper. Expect him, of course, to make that. But that pressing, Karen, was really important.
Exactly. Look, when you're a good team, you know, comfortable in possession of the ball, try and press them and force them into Arsenal's games there, where you can pick up first balls, second balls, and then you can start to build. And when you press high as well and win it, they're out of shape. And you did a great clip of them in their back 5 at the start of the show. Well, they can't do that when they're trying to win it from these positions. Again, Arsenal have been really threatening. They've mixed up their set pieces, putting it into the box, going short. My only criticism maybe Arsenal is they've had amazing chances like this. Put the game to bed. It's still 1-0. We don't want extra time. We don't want any unnecessary stress. Kill this game off and do it quick as possible.
OK, guys, well, that second half is coming up very soon. The only thing to report from this first half, after the first 45 minutes, is that brilliant shot from Meze. Let's have a little look. Strike for him, his first Champions League goal. It doesn't get much better than that, does it?
Martin Keown, and we are live on TalkSport, flying along. A lot to get in the final hour today, not least what an incredible Six Nations tournament it was, with La Belle France coming out on top at the end of it all. What a match that was in Paris on Saturday night. England going so close, but it was the French who won it. In the meantime, it was a weekend of headline news in the world of football, because some of the results have really got us talking today about what may or may not happen further down the line. And certainly Manchester United and Michael Carrick come into that conversation, do they not? Manchester United beat Aston Villa by 3-1, and it's his 7th win for Carrick since taking charge of United 2 months ago. He has catapulted the Old Trafford side into 3rd spot. They're in 54 points and going along very, very nicely. Begs the question, should he get the job full time? Carrick played all that talk down. Michael Carrick didn't want to engage on all the talk that he should be getting the job. And all the talk is right, Simon, because Wayne Rooney, 100% he should get the job. I have said this. I knew this was going to happen with Michael Carrick. I know him well. I know his character, his personality. Roy Keane, though, disagrees. I think there are better options out there. I think to manage United, you need someone with a lot more experience in terms of winning trophies, competing in Europe, and he hasn't got that. He might have that in a few years, and he might be in the mix then, but not now.
I'm not going to take much credence behind Wayne's observations, because his managerial experience is based upon his own outcomes, and I think there's not a lot of credence in that, despite the fact he's played for Alex Ferguson and played for other managers that have been of a high level. And he said it last night on Match of the Day. I saw him, and I listened to Roy Keane, and obviously Roy's got some issue with Michael Carrick, because he re-engineered his argument, because he started with the default setting as I don't think he should be given the job, because I don't think he should be given the job. And when he was asked to give a name, he didn't really have much of one, and then he began to work his way back into the conversation to talk about the fact that it's no jeopardy on the situation right now. There's no pressure, there's no expectation. He's got players that know that he's a temporary manager, that ultimately that he's playing nicely with to some extent to get the best from them. When he has to start making decisions about contracts and people that are going to stay and people that are going to go, all of a sudden the dynamic will change. If we're going to ask him to win leagues, anybody in this room see Michael Carrick winning a league with Man United, winning the Champions League with Man United? So he fleshed out his argument. Right now, all Michael Carrick can do is what he's doing, which is win football matches.
Yeah.
And make sense of what he's doing. Now, in the longer game, I'm kind of in Roy's camp, because when we look back on the history of the managers that supposedly failed at Manchester United, when you look at them now, you look at Mourinho's tenure, despite the fact he went very dark at the end of it, because he had a turn because he couldn't get Harry Maguire or whatever it was at the time he wanted, and he wasn't given support for, and he wasn't living up in Manchester, he was commuting from London. If you look at that team that won the League Cup, won the Europa League, and finished second in the Premier League, that looks like a successful Manchester United side, albeit not the side of the previous times, but in against recent times. So the answer to go to more experienced managers does feel like the example, the right and more experienced manager at the right stage in their career. Ruben Amorim was a winning manager, but clearly not the right fit for Man United, irrespective of the fact he was a European winning manager because he won the Portuguese league.
Right.
So I'm kind of with Roy, but in the...
You're with Roy in a certain way. I mean, he's not doing anything to rule himself out of contention.
No, I know, but also what Roy's picture is trying to extrapolate it. And I know there's a lot of cachet around Steve Holland and so on and so forth, but he was part of the England setup that flattered to deceive, that didn't win anything when they could have done. So whilst he might be an excellent coach, we're still looking at a bunch of people, with respect of being Michael Carrick being an elite footballer, that as from a management point of view, have got what on their resume? So it's part of the conversation, not the only part of it. But if Carrick goes to the end of the season and United finish third, or even, dare I say it, catch City and finish second, then there's going to be a clamour of people suggesting that he's proven himself, that he's had 18, 19 games now, that 18, 19 games, or however many he's had, he's done X, Y, Z. I mean, they are far better for him being there, but that's because common sense has prevailed. You haven't got a manager that seems to want to riddle himself into cul-de-sacs and play a group of players that can't play the way he wants them to play. You've got a manager that's ultimately under no real pressure, because everyone thinks that United were... The pressure will come now. Now United are third. Now the pressure's now, because everyone's going to expect... United fans are going to go, you better finish inside the top four now, because you're there now.
But yeah, I take on board what Simon's saying, Martin, but if he secures Champions League football for United, what exactly is going to rule him out?
Yeah,
What's going to rule him against?
I get it. I do. Roy's a respected voice, and I do take the point that this group, pretty well the same group of players, finished quite low down the table the year before when they had, they were signings that were made, but the core of the group, the system was different, which is obviously gives a good platform to what you're trying to achieve, but.
Just shows how good Ez's goal was, because had that gone in, it still would have been the second best goal tonight, wouldn't it? Leverkusen have got a player down, but they're on the move here with Grimaldo. Then it goes towards Cafani and headed away by William Saliba. I think the interesting player on the Leverkusen bench is Patrick Schick.
Absolutely.
13 goals this season, scored in the win against Manchester City, and he's got a lot of experience at international level. You wouldn't think it would be too long until you saw him.
Well, they've got goals on the bench, haven't they? Tillman, Schick. Then they definitely need one, so I'm with you.
Grimaldo to Tapsoba.
Tells you the quality that we're watching this evening.
Andrich Taps over. All eyes really now turn to this Arsenal defence. They've been rock solid in the Champions League this season. Only Bayern, Inter and Leverkusen in the first leg have scored against them. Lennart Karl of Bayern Munich, the only player to score here. That was way back on match day 5 in November. In all competitions this season, they've conceded 32 goals in 48 and a half games. I mean, they really have been rock solid. The goalkeeper's played exceptionally well. If they can keep a clean sheet now, they're through to the last 8 of the Champions League. Eze was patient and flicked it round the corner to Gyökeres. Then he gets back on it and finds Bukayo Saka. Took a little bit too long, that allowed Palacios to make the tackle.
The flick round the corner, he just lets Tapsoba come in and flicks it round the corner. Is absolutely magic to watch.
Given away by Poku. Victor Gyökeres hits the shot. Gyökeres, Blaswich.
Don't mind it. Don't mind it. He's got no support up. He's got nobody to help him. Just drops his shoulder. Well within his rights to have a pop from there.
And just on that Eze flick, he knows he's going to get contact as well when he does it. He's got to be brave.
Of course he does. What you do with that one, you see it coming, you flick it and then just lift the undercarriage up. You don't want your feet in the ground. As soon as that comes up and you lay it off, get your feet off the ground.
Gone are the days though, Coisy, when you needed shin pads on the front and the back.
Yes. I'll suggest it's a bigger thud a few years back.
Oh. You can bear testament to that, I'm sure. The shining light so far tonight. Arsenal, a difficult night for Chelsea. Manchester City haven't been able to make inroads either into the cushion that Real Madrid got last week in the Bernabeu. Looks like a forlorn hope for Spurs tomorrow, and of course all eyes will move to Newcastle in Barcelona, and Liverpool at Anfield have got a goal to find against Galatasaray. So lots of work for the English teams to do, but Arsenal keeping their part of the bargain with 53 minutes played here at the Emirates. A lovely touch there by Mazza. Gets it back again. Here's Cavani. Mazza. That's a really good block by Gabriel. It's good slick football though.
It was.
Leverkusen.
It was really tidy. And you're right, Mazza was heavily involved in it. He started off a little dummy and ran through him.
There's that flick you were talking about, Coach.
Watch this. Beautiful, beautiful. See, he's got to lift it as well. Tapsoba comes in and he knows he's got an awareness here. He just flicks it. And in an ideal world, he can give it and go, but because the challenge is coming through, he's obviously going to take one.
Cavani will get the free kick here by Leverkusen.
He's got to be thinking about one or two changes, I would think.
Mazza plays it out here to Grimaldo, who couldn't get the long way around Bukayo Saka, but he's given the ball away. They've actually had more of the ball now on the official UEFA statistics screen tonight, 52%. It's not translated though into chances, which...
You know I'm not a massive fan of that stat, really.
No, but a game like this, it's the kind of possession that does count. They're not just knocking it about in the back, are they? There's Poku against Nkapie. He's played Poku well tonight, hasn't he, Nkapie? That's played in here to Grimaldo. Good defending again by Arsenal. Gabriel was involved, smashed away by Nkapie, but this is a decent spell for Bayer Leverkusen. Played on there by Garcia, and Quansah delivers the cross. Cavani just couldn't quite get across the front post.
Saliba does well there, you know, coming across, and he's fairly confident it's making its way right through to David Raya, which it did.
Bukayo Saka, Gyökeres, Saka, Now Leandro Trossard. Headed away by Andrich, cleared away by Tapsoba. Dispossessed down here by Palacios. I think of all the players on there tonight, Cavani's been the most disappointing for me. Here's Trossard, on it goes to Eze. That's a good tackle by Grimaldo.
And this fella's been the opposite in the Leverkusen team for me. Good player, Grimaldo.
Absolutely. A goal every 3 games this season, 12 and 36.
Yeah, sure enough.
Prior to tonight, which for a left wing back is an outstanding talent. Montreal Culbreath is stripped as the shot comes in from Andrich.
He didn't believe it, did he? Looks like Tillman.
Yeah, Tillman and Culbreath are going to be the two at this stage. Not Schick just yet. There is Patrick Schick. A very experienced Czech Republic international, 50 caps. He's the top scorer, 13 goals in all competitions. Tillman's going to try and pep them up. The final third, they're going to take off Ernest Toku and Martin Terrier.
One thing I would say, those Leverkusen fans haven't stopped all night. Credit where it's due.
You can always guarantee a good atmosphere when there's a German team involved, whether it be at home or abroad. I must say they've made a positive start to the second half. Ben White gives it away, gave it straight to Garcia.
The problem with Ben White there, it has to go first time. As soon as he takes the touch, the whole thing closes down in front of him.
Quonset to Poku, who's going to be one of the players replaced in a moment or two. And it goes by Andrich. Alex Garcia, now Palacios, and Grimaldo's well forward again. Grimaldo's cross, Cavani trying to get there. Was that a foul? It was. Going to deny Quonset a chance to shoot. Didn't really need to manhandle the Arsenal defender like that, did he? So the number 42 is 18-year-old Montreal Culbreath. He's come on as a sub in 2 of the last 3 Champions League games prior to tonight. Only made his debut in December. And then the much more familiar side of Malik Tillman, who they signed from PSV Eindhoven in the summer, started at Bayern Munich, had a spell in Scotland with Rangers. He's got a couple of goals in the Champions League to this point.
Absolutely no change to the formation at all. Just a switch in personnel, it looks like, Dan.
I'm sure they'll hope for a bit more down the right from Culbreath than they were getting from Poku tonight. I remember seeing Poku in Manchester. He was a lot more effective, wasn't he, as an attacking player than he has been. Nketiah's played him well.
See, that was a lovely touch there immediately from Tillman.
Ibrahim Maza, Alex Grimaldo. Now Edmund Tapsoba. Next goal in the tie, very, very important.
Yeah.
That's a really good pass by Alex Garcia. Grimaldo's going to get there and cross first time, and it goes towards Tillman. He gets his head to it. And swept away, though, for Arsenal by Gabriel. Andrich, always under pressure there from Jokeres, and then Blaswich smashes the ball away. Here goes Jarell Quonset. Just took a knock there, Leandro Trossard.
trying to get away. Delap with the back heel, cleared away by PSG. Kvaratskhelia. Now he's escaping again. Chalobah is trying to chase him. Dembele's waiting in the centre. It's cut back to Achraf Hakimi, and then it comes and slammed into the net beautifully by Mayulu. It's a terrific finish from a young player. But it sparks an exodus at Stamford Bridge.
They've just been clinical, haven't they, Sam? When they've got that end of the pitch, it hasn't taken many shots for them to score 3 goals. Paris. And that was exactly the same from Mayulu. This is a tough night for him. It's a tough night for Chelsea.
Well, a lot of the Chelsea fans aren't even groaning anymore. All you can really hear is the sound of the PSG supporters and half the seats inside Stamford Bridge flipping up as the fans head for the district line. It broke down with Santos, didn't it?
And this is the worst possible scenario of how this second leg could have gone. You needed fight from Chelsea. You needed it to be tough for Paris to get themselves through, but in all honesty, it's been far too easy. It's far too easy to get past Chelsea when they lose possession high up the pitch. It's far too easy to get themselves in a position where they can score, and another great finish.
Scores his first Champions League goal of the season, and is that the goal to take Arsenal into the Champions League quarter-finals?
Tell you what, he's been brilliant for now, and he deserves it. I thought initially he was going to hit it a split second earlier, but he comes in. Grimaldo, I think it is, or Garcia, has the clearance with the left foot. They'll get themselves in a lot of trouble there, Dan, and they decided to play it out. Sharp was attacked, Declan Rice, in he comes, takes his touch. I thought he was going to hit it. He gives himself another yard. There he is, right onto it, quick. I thought he was going to hit it there in the half volley. Takes his touch. That is a better finish than I first thought. Beautiful, passed into the net. Starts outside on the post, curls in. Look at that for composure. Goalie's a little bit unsighted with Andrich. Doesn't matter, he's not getting anywhere. That's magnificent, look at that.
That's the best angle because it starts outside the post and bends back in. Had such a good night in the semi-finals here last season. He's probably just scored the goal to get them through to the last 8. There's the trademark celebration from Mikel Arteta. And they have benefited, Arsenal, tonight from 2 truly outstanding goals.
It's amazing. I was just going to say before that goal, right, if it stays this way, Emirates will get man of the match for that goal. But Declan Rice has been absolutely superb.
The interesting...
Nacho is prevented from doing so by Safanov. He's probably made a series of saves tonight which have changed the complexion of the game. He's made another one there as Neto gets hold of it. I do worry about Chelsea and their lack of being able to convert some of these chances into goals. Some of that is down to Safanov making saves tonight, but they had a similar problem at the weekend where they missed big chances against Newcastle United and ended up drawing a blank. They've had 11 attempts tonight, 5 on target. Still yet to score on a night where they had to score. Context of the game has clearly changed now. The attitude, obviously, nowhere near as intense as it was at the beginning of the game, and that's all understandable. But 8-2.
Kick off Ben White, Martin Zubimendi and Leandro Trossard. I wonder whether that tells you Trossard to start on Sunday at Wembley.
Not sure. I'm not sure.
The Emirates in full voice. Arsenal 3-1 up on aggregate now. 2-0 tonight. Eze in the first half and Declan Rice in the second. There's Montreal Kilbreth, now Jarell Quansah. Jokeres ran into Andrich. Quansah lays it off.
Just wondering if tonight it stays this way, there's one or two people who just maybe give Arsenal a break about just scoring for corners. What do you think? They have scored 2 fantastic goals.
Played straight at Martin Zubimendi. That's a lovely turn by Eze. What a game he's having tonight. Bukayo Saka to his right, Jokeres to his left. Eze patient, still Eze. He's got to go himself. It's a brilliant block in there by
Declan Rice with the latest of the Arsenal goals. Kvaratskhelia waltzing through. And there were a lot of Chelsea bodies inside that 18-yard box, but that urgency to close down is just not there anymore.
Yeah, they just took him by surprise at the corner quite early, quick.
Well, Thursday night we've got Europa League and Conference League action for you on TNT Sports. See how Crystal Palace can get on, and how Aston Villa and Nottingham Forest, another team, have got to come back from a deficit. In fact, I think last week it was only Aston Villa out of all of the English clubs that managed to pick up a win. 5 o'clock Thursday, TNT Sports 1 on the Discovery Plus app. And Aston Villa game, they're leading by a goal to 0. Forest have got a 1-0 deficit to try and overturn in Midtjylland. 0-0, Larnaca and Crystal Palace.
Could have just let that go then. A bit of an advantage played.
And it's been a listless second half, hasn't it, for Chelsea? Tame in front of goal and not urgent enough in defence. They've turned over the ball far too many times, been loose with their possession, and every time that they've been given a sniff, PSG have punished them.
And they've just kept Chelsea at arm's length. After the 2 goals, just kept Chelsea at arm's length. Goalkeeper's made a couple of saves, but the confidence just sapped out of the players.
I think when we look back on that first leg, I think we both said it wasn't a 5-2. Chelsea could have come away with a little bit more. When you look at this game, Chelsea obviously needing goals, came out probably with
too many
the
risks.
wrong approach, really. And now it feels like a 3-0 game, doesn't it?
It certainly does. But they didn't manage the game last week, and they'll learn from that. The young squad, it's a tough, harsh lesson.
20 to go. They can do this to the very best, though. They did it in the Champions League final last year. They took Inter Milan team apart. PSG. He knows what it's like to take Chelsea to Champions League glory 2021. Beat
full breath on the right, Grimaldo on the left, and then Cavani alongside Schick. It's good play from Victor Jokeres, squeezed in. Saka's header, saved by the keeper. They're asking for a handball.
They'll have a look, won't they? I'll tell you what's not up for debate. The cross.
Oh, is that the hand, Ali? They're checking it.
I'll tell you what he is doing. He's tugging the jersey, isn't he? Look, there's the tug.
Yeah, they're going to disallow that.
They've got to disallow it for the tug.
Yeah.
He's pulling his jersey. Simple.
It's also got it off his hand.
Yeah, it has.
Clear as day.
But I tell you what, Bobby.
It's just that final moment again. More frustration more agitation amongst the Chelsea players and supporters.
I suspect Chelsea fans are still watching. This is a painful watch.
Tosin on for Cucurella. Another bit of protection, you would have thought, with Everton in mind at the weekend. And they have got still things to play for, Chelsea. You know, Saturday sees them go to Everton. They need a decent result there after dropping points in the race for the top 5. Then after the international break, Port Vale here in the Cup before they welcome the 2 Manchester Giants in back-to-back games. They mustn't lose focus, especially bearing in mind the financial situation of the club. They need Champions League football.
Just under pressure for it now.
Neto looking for Delap. It's a harsh lesson, isn't it? And I think it's worse when it's in your stadium. And
stayed behind.
That's a good ball. That is a good ball from. I just lets it through and tries to play it in behind the defence there. Tell you, we've seen some quality goal tonight, boy. Oh, been brilliant, hasn't it?
Absolutely fantastic. It's the business end of the best competition for clubs in the world, so this is where it starts to get serious, but it also gets very, very high quality. Here's Grimaldo. Malik Tillman, Grimaldo's carried on running, and Grimaldo trying to take on Rice, but Rice is so good in those situations. Here's Tillman, and they'll get another corner off Hincapié.
It's excellent from Rice, isn't it?
You see the best midfielder in the world right now, all round.
Oh, he's got to come in.
All round.
Must come into the conversation.
I mean, he can do everything.
Yeah, he must come into the conversation.
Goes the corner from Grimaldo. David Raya didn't get it, and then it's Saliba.
Dear me.
That could have gone anywhere.
That nearly bounced off him and in for an own goal, didn't it? Look, he didn't know anything about it. Comes off his knee. That could go absolutely anywhere.
Oh. I think he felt the same as you. Deeper this time. That's more orthodox from William Saliba. That's good strength from Bukayo Saka. Good pass to Victor Gyökeres. Arsenal in business. He's got 3 with him, and there's only 2 defenders back, and Gyökeres is running through, and he's played on towards Christian Mosquera. Probably the wrong...
Very popular figure there before leaving to go to Paris. Doué has won the ball back, and he wanted it back again. Champong has recovered from the initial mistake. Delap. Pedro Neto looking for Alejandro Garnacho. It's still Garnacho, and I think that's a bit of a example of what Chelsea have been about, really, is that they've created half opportunities and sometimes good opportunities, but the final finish, there's just not enough conviction in it.
Absolutely, and again, that's a little bit of lack of confidence of the group as well. I do.
I mean, there aren't any teams in the world that can leave out 2 fullbacks who started at the weekend and bring the 2 in that they've had tonight for a start. It's Martinelli, Hincapié, now Declan Rice.
He's been absolutely outstanding. He really has, Declan Rice. Outstanding.
It's the perfect night for them, based on the fact they've got this League Cup final against Manchester City on Sunday, trying to win their first major trophy for 6 years. They might end up winning 4 of them the way they're going. Let's have a look at this goal again. Starts outside the post, I think it comes back in. There you go, look at that.
Oh, I mean, the goalkeeper doesn't even dive for it, and nor should it, to be fair.
You couldn't pick it up, place it with your hands any more accurately than that.
An absolutely beautiful finish.
You don't often say it, but 105 million, he looks a bargain, doesn't he, Declan Rice, based on what he does and what he means to this team.
I suppose Chelsea supporters will hope that the ownership group learn from it as well. They look at it and
that's
go,
the most important thing. If they don't learn from it, then this just would be completely unnecessary. They have to look at this, have to forensically examine why and what happened, and they have to learn from it, the people above, because they're the most important.
Hakimi, Doué, Vitinha. Marquinhos. Given away by Hakimi, and then given away by Garnacho. Garnacho being generous. Delap encouraged to shoot. Again, it's another option which maybe on another night he wouldn't have taken. Enzo Fernandez equaliser in Paris for the second time on the night. Seems a long time ago now. That moment Chelsea were in a fantastic position, even when they made the mistake with Jurgensen giving the ball away and conceding the goal to Vitinha. 3-2 wouldn't have been a bad result. Those two goals at the end certainly incredibly costly, and the two goals in the first 20 minutes of this game just absolutely ramming it home that there was going to be no way back. Garnacho. Well, on the 26th of March, TNT Sports is going to move from Discovery Plus to its new streaming home of HBO Max, as well as all the sport you love. You can also find the most talked about series and hit movies all under one roof. If you scan that QR code on the screen now, you'll get more information. Does mean if this game was in a couple of weeks' time, the Chelsea fans would have been able to watch White Lotus instead later on in the game. Here is Garnacho. And again, Safanov saves from him. What would your advice be to Liam Rosenior about how he handles this?
Well, I think you said it. He's got to look at these players and see how they reacted to the adversity they found themselves in tonight. Watch them in training. Who's got it? Who's there with him? Because they certainly need all hands to the pump. The end of the season, in the Premier League and the FA Cup, it could still be a successful season. They need to get in the Champions League. Is that too much pressure? But he'll look at himself as well. Did he make the right decisions in terms of team selection, in terms of the way he set them up?
Duo. Dispossessed by Champon. Vitinha. That's that to on to Kangin leaders, Mayulu. It'll be fascinating to hear what Joe and Owen think about the performance of Chelsea, where Chelsea go next after the end of the game here tonight.
Joe will be gutted. I know it's difficult to have high expectations tonight. It's a difficult game for Chelsea, but still just needed to see a bit more. There's a a Chelsea fan.
Yeah, I think when we were talking about it earlier on, the feeling was it was going to go one of two ways. Chelsea were going to come out all guns blazing and maybe be the victims of a heroic failure, or it was going to be one of those nights where it just all went wrong. And sadly for Chelsea, for Liam Rosenior and for the players, it's been the latter. Ramos trying to hold his own against Tosin. Tosin manages to steer it clear. Kang In Lee. Back to Marquinhos. Every time I look down now, Lucy, there's just more and more people heading towards the exits.
I feel for the Chelsea fans, I really do. So frustrating to watch this over two legs. Yes, Paris are brilliant.
Referee's just going to stop the game here because there was a collision on the edge of the penalty area, and I think that
right in front of the Bayer Leverkusen supporters. Ronaldo tried to get there, but Mosquera beat him to it. Jarell Quansah. Now Malik Tillman. Ronaldo's the captain following the change. David Raya's got the ball. And it goes to Declan Rice, who's far too powerful there for Alex Garcia. Gabriel. Arsenal less than 7 minutes away.
didn't really have much to offer in that regard. You don't even need to hear what the supporters are saying. In fact, not many of them are saying very much, the Chelsea fans. You can just see the apathy written on their face.
This is not good for Chalobah. I mean, he's been a versatile, strong performer at times for Chelsea, and having an injury in defence is not what you wanted on top of everything else tonight.
He's one with rare experience. He's
absolutely
been part of the group for a very long time. He's actually gone off and played it elsewhere as well and picked up a lot of experience, but the last thing they'll want is to lose him, especially going into the big games that they've got upcoming. No, it's been passed by Liam Rosenior to restructure the team because they are going to have to take him off on a stretcher. And in front of Thomas Tuchel tonight, I'm sure that Chalobah would have held out hopes for being part of the England squad when it comes out on Friday. And obviously that looks as if it's going to be difficult for him because, as we understand it, that is a very unpleasant injury.
Which is why we're not showing him, I think.
Well, Chelsea about to go down to 10 players, and Tosin just being handed the note which is being passed on to Caicedo to try and restructure the team. Chelsea do have a FA Cup campaign to contend, and as Chalobah comes off, Liam Rosenior will hope he is available for that after the international break. So will those Chelsea supporters. We will be bringing you all of the quarter-finals, every match live from the Emirates FA Cup and the Adobe Women's FA Cup over the Easter weekend. Join us on TNT Sports. Well, our best wishes to Trevor Chalobah, an academy graduate, someone who came through the ranks at Chelsea. Spent time at Ipswich and Huddersfield, Lorient in France, and Crystal Palace when I think people were a little bit surprised he was allowed to go out on loan. He was very quickly recalled in the January of last year and was a big part of the successes at the end of last season. Sometimes your night just goes from bad to worse. Caicedo's got a right back. Champong's just slid across alongside Tosin as Chelsea play out the final 4 minutes.
Yeah, there is an argument that Caicedo could have started the game there in terms of just shoring up that central midfield. He could have stepped in, but it's easy to say. Hindsight's a wonderful thing.
It's one of those things that could have happened, though, isn't it? Because it is something that's happened before. Caicedo playing at right back and moving into midfield. That will be another one.
Tillman. On it goes now to Culbreth. They've worked it nicely to here. That's a brilliant save by David Ryan to deny Cafani. We were right behind that, and it looked destined for the top corner. Outstanding save.
Clearly the best move of the game by a distance. Beautiful. They take their time with the whole thing. Lovely ball in. That's a great save. Cafani does well. He times his run well. He's a little bit unsighted as well, David Raya, because it comes goal side of the defender, but what a save, great save, but their best move by a mile.
We've seen some goals tonight, we've seen some saves tonight.
We have.
In goes the corner, in towards Schick, headed away by Gabriel, smashed back in by Lazar, and that's well wide.
The fans knew that.
Caicedo charging forward. Neto. All in all, it will be PSG that emerge with a lot of credit around Europe. Everyone will be talking about them again. Luis Enrique, listen, he's a brilliant manager, isn't he? They're lucky to have him. He's a tactical innovator. It's a philosophy that he has that he uses as his basis, but there's always the odd tactical tweak. In that first leg, Achraf Hakimi was very important in the nullifying of Enzo Fernandez. He's quite happy to allow his front players to move and to switch and to create problems, and if it's Galatasaray or it's Liverpool in the next round of the competition, it's going to be a tough ask.
Yeah, I mean, they're such a good team, you know, that the way he has them playing, their movement, they all know where everybody needs to be at whatever point, and quite fluid. They haven't had to do too much tonight other than be clinical, but they've taught a stark lesson to Chelsea over the 2 legs. Could argue that it was lost in the last 20 minutes last week, but didn't put a good enough fight up. Yes, Safanov played well in Paris's goal, but just needed a little bit more from Chelsea.
Yeah, I mean, we will probably see people talk about the saves that he's made. He's made 9 tonight, but that's masking the reality of the situation, really. Chelsea have been second best. There was no nerves before the match for Paris, and they've been cruising casual all the way through. Hakimi. PSG's form in the first half of the season probably led to them being underestimated coming into this game. There were many of those who thought that maybe they were there for the taking, and even in that game in Paris that might still have been the case, but after the 2-legged dismissal of Chelsea, there won't be too many of those left, do we? Tosin away, Achraf Hakimi. It's 2 games in a row now here at Stamford Bridge that Chelsea have failed to score in.
Camacho is struggling.
We don't think they're going to add on any time, which is good news for Chelsea. Well, a year ago, the joke was that PSG were from a Farmers League. 12 months on, they have ploughed through half the Premier League in pursuit of a second European glory. Liverpool, Villa, Arsenal, Tottenham, and now Chelsea, all swatted aside over the last 12 months or so. It's one hell of a yield. In the end, the mountain proved too steep to climb for Liam Rossigna. In truth, Chelsea barely left base camp. They competed solidly in the Parc des Princes, but the Champions League is unforgiving. and we have just witnessed how cruel it can be. Maybe for that mad 15 minutes in Paris we might be talking about a different outcome, a different situation, but as a result of those errors and the ruthlessness of the reigning champions, Chelsea's Champions League story was over long before the second chapter started to be written. Their job is to find a way to come back next year. Paris Saint-Germain have grander ambitions than that. It's finished at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea 0, Paris Saint-Germain 3, 8-2 to the Parisians on aggregate.
Lewis Skelly to score, but they were going mad for him to shoot when he got the ball.
No, I think it's the chairman and vice chairman.
Launch forward towards Mazza. Mosquera wins his header. Walker to Declan Rice. On goes Rice again. Havertz is going to chase this. A beat taps over to the ball. The back heel didn't quite work. So Sporting Lisbon next, their miracle against Bodo Glimt. I mean, they'll be strong favourites for that one, Arsenal.
Oh, I'm sure they should be. Obviously can't take anything for granted, but it's a good tie for them.
It's Mazza to take on Mosquera, that's a corner. Here towards Kulbrecht, who didn't quite get there. Piero Hincapié with a touch. It's Grimaldo.
He's kept going, hasn't he? I've enjoyed him tonight, out of all the Leverkusen players.
Mazza with the cross, and cleared as far as Martinelli by Gabriel. Into the final minute of additional time, and all in all, it's been a really good performance tonight from Arsenal.
Excellent night for Arsenal. They want to tempt fate, shaping up to be a clean sheet. Another one, 2 exceptional goals. Made 1 or 2 changes. Couldn't have gone any better.
And that should be that. He knows his job done, and now all of his thoughts could turn to Wembley on Sunday, the League Cup final against Manchester City, and the wait for a trophy could be over. 6 years since they won one. The referee's blown the full-time whistle, and that's it. Arsenal through to the quarter-finals of the Champions League, and they'll play Sporting Lisbon, who came back from nowhere to beat Bodo Glimt earlier tonight. Brilliant goal in each half. The first one, a stunning volley.
Tell you what, the commentary tonight is one of the most useless commentators I've ever listened to. Like, if it wasn't just for the stream, I'll be switching it off. I'll be watching the game, all of them on mute. Yo, it's almost like a wank fest between the commentators. Wow. No way. The way they fucking hell. That was painful to listen to. Fair play to Arsenal though. You know, they always knew they were gonna qualify anyway. At home, they're capable of scoring those 2 goals. City, that's still going. I think. City will be going now as well. Real Madrid scored another goal, 2-1. Vini just scored. Vini scored again. So the English teams. Is this not the new Farmers League? The Premier League? Is the Premier League the new Farmers League? Because City had just been battered as well. Chelsea battered out of the Champions League. City 5-1. 5-1. When was the last time you see Pep Guardiola's team go out the way they've done? Right? 5-1. on aggregate. Vini scored 2 goals, 3 goals overall, both ties, both legs. But Chelsea got battered 8-2 on aggregate. So it's the English League, the New Farmers League. Arsenal, obviously, they qualified as expected. So we'll wait to see tomorrow, right? Between Liverpool and Newcastle. If those two teams goes out tomorrow, no way the 5th place. We're getting the 5th place in the Champions League. No chance. No chance. If you finish at the 5th place in the Prem, you ended up in the Europa League. But if those two teams don't qualify tomorrow, that's the problem. That's where we're going to be. But just listening to the commentary, man, the commentators, absolutely ridiculous, bro. Wow. Is Declan Rice the best midfielder in the world right now? Have you seen PSG midfield? Have you seen Real Madrid midfield? Have you seen the Barcelona midfield? Have you seen? Jeez, I couldn't listen to that anymore. Like Ali McCoy, I thought he was one of the best commentators, but tonight it's almost like a wank fest. But I believe the Premier League is the New Farmers League. Apart from Arsenal right now, and also Aston Villa doing beats in the Europa League, I think the rest of them are just there for the money. Chelsea were there for the money. They won so much in the Club World Cup Championship. And City, Pep, no one saw that coming. No one. But it did happen. Newcastle tomorrow, we'll see what happens. And Liverpool. Other than that, they made the Champions League so distasteful from what we've seen tonight. Vini scoring 3 goals against City. And he's talking about his Declan Rice, the best player in the world right now. Are you joking? Full time now. City 5-1 on aggregate. They lost again at home 2-1 to Real Madrid. Bernardo Silva, red card, red card for Bernardo Silva. But that Eze goal was good. Even Declan Rice's goal was good as well. Anyway, let me get off this internet one. Done for the night. Arsenal qualify. They're going to Sporting. Yeah, again, they'll be the favourite for that. This was fixed all along for Arsenal to win the Champions League this season. They're dying to give it to Arsenal. Same as the Premier League. They're dying to give the Premier League to Arsenal. But we'll see what happens. Sporting, they've come back tonight. They redeemed themselves by scoring 5 goals and winning the tie. Winning the tie by 2 goals more. They went down 3-0. They came back from 3-0. Mad. Sporting, so you never know. Arsenal might be the favourite, but Sporting might just surprise them like they've done tonight. Bodo Glimt must have come to Sporting tonight thinking, yeah, we don't even have to do much. So underestimated them. The team or competition used to underestimate. They underestimated Sporting, thinking Sporting will not be able to score 4-5 goals, and they did tonight. So you can see that those are the final scores. City 1, Madrid 2, Sporting 5, Bodo Glimt 0, Arsenal 2, Leverkusen 2 0, Chelsea 0, PSG 3. And now that's a serious team that. So I'm gonna leave you guys with that. We shall see you tomorrow in the Champions League again for Barcelona versus Newcastle United. Man's trying to watch some rashy football. You know. We're trying to watch some rashy football tomorrow. Let's see what happens with that one. But come on, we are the new Farmers League, the Premier League. They need Manchester United back in the Champions League to change the face of the Champions League again. We need to qualify next season by hook or crook. Otherwise, just gonna be the Champions League is gonna be boring. They need Manchester United in the Champions League again. Chelsea, wow, over £1 billion spent, and still look at them, Garnacho. Yeah, such a bad game today as well. 8-2.